Welcome back. It's Kovacs Report, and it's time for a new number one. We all love a new number one, right? This time it's from Mad Cave with Wild Animals by Ed Brisson and Andy Kuhn. I couldn't resist when I saw this cover and I read the solicit, and it sounded like just my type of book. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go through it page by page, give my thoughts. If you don't want the book spoiled, it's best you read it before you watch the video. Do subscribe. It really helps your channel. And you know what? If you like the video, just give it a little like. I'd really appreciate it. So let's dive straight in. So we've got this inner material here. You get a little glimpse of an event that's happened. It says Albion Flats officers found not guilty. So a crime has been committed, maybe, and the cops have got away with it. And that is really the premise of this book. So we start off in the hospital, and young Neil here, you can see he's got a burnt face. He's got scars from burns that he received another time. He's talking to his mother, and it's not looking good. She is dying. There is no doubt about it. She is in the last, days, hours of her life, and he is gutted. This guy is depressed. He's absolutely depressed. His father's dead, okay? And now his mother's going. So they have a little reminiscence of a story. It doesn't really cheer him up. It just makes him even more depressed. And he goes home to their apartment, okay, where he finds the landlord saying, listen, get your shit cleared out or it goes in the dumpster. So they're being evicted. Now, they've been there 17 years, right? The landlord knows full well they've never missed a payment in those 70 years, and his mother isn't at work. She's ill. She's in hospital, but he doesn't care. This guy is an absolute POS, as they say, and it just adds to Neil's day. It really, really does. You can see him getting angry here, slamming the door. Now he's tidying up, and he finds this little lockbox, but we don't find out what's in it just yet. And then we jump to a little sort of a throwback to the past, where we find out what happened to his dad that fateful day, because like I say, his dad's gone. So his dad was a cop, and he was a good cop too, and he would not submit to the bad cops, right? They wanted him to get involved in some illegal shenanigans, but he was like, no, I'm not interested. But what he did do is report them. What happened is, of course, those bad cops came running and they attacked the house. And in the medley, while his dear wife and his mum was cooking, a hot pan of oil got thrown at his father, but it missed, and it landed on Neil as a young child's face and body, and that's how he got the burns, right? So everything goes dark for him, and then he hears those fatal shots ring out, and his dad slumped to the floor, slain. Now, as you can tell from the newspaper clipping at the beginning, they got away with it. Okay, they got away with it. No one knows they did it. They are scot-free, and he's grown up. He's grown up with that sort of pressure and stress in his head that, his father was killed and no one's been held accountable. So he spent his whole life, I think, depressed. And he explains that, he wanted to do something about it. He wanted to maybe become a cop. He tried forensics, well, not forensics, criminology, but he's failing, college too. But he wants to do so. He just feels helpless. And this is the whole point of this book, is like this kid is just helpless. Everything goes wrong. And there is a point in everyone's life where you can choose to cross the line, right? Where you break. A bit like The Killing Joke. The whole point of The Killing Joke was every man can become a villain, right? If you push him hard enough, he will cross the line. And this is where we find Neil. He's at work in some dead-end job at a gas station. And these teenagers come in, younger than him, and they're shoplifting. So he goes over to ask him to stop shoplifting. But before that happens, he gets a phone call, and the doctor is saying, get here now. And he's like, why? He said, get to the hospital. You need to come and see your mum now. So obviously she is dying, and the doctor's trying to get him there so they can say goodbye. So he thinks, I've got to do this quickly. I've got to get out of here. I can't miss that, right? So he goes over to these kids, and these kids are basically go tell him to, and they have a massive fight, and they absolutely pound this kid into the ground, right? Neil tries to put up a fight, but it's just not enough. And this little scrotum here with the cigarette hanging out of his mouth at a gas station, right, just starts stomping him, dropping shelves on him, and they run off, right? So it's just what he needs, right? It's like, if you couldn't get any lower, now you got to deal with this. It couldn't get any worse, but yes, it does. Because that's happened, he did not get to the hospital in time to say goodbye to his mum. And that's it. This guy, you think this guy is done. Later, after the funeral, he's pretty much homeless at this point, really. He opens up the little lockbox that his mum had hidden in a wardrobe, and he finds all kinds of stuff, and he finds out that actually they've all actually had their identities changed. So after the murder, right, for their safety, they had the names changed. Mother had his name changed. He was called Scott Hansen, right? His current name is Neil Hasselman. So all of his searching across the internet and archives to try and find his father and his name in some kind of criminal records has never come to anything, because the names don't exist. But once he searches for his real name and his father's real name, he finds everything. He finds everything. And the thing that he finds, That is the most important thing, is the names of these three cops. And there we have it. Now he is absolutely like geared up now, right? So you must imagine, after all these years, all the things that have happened, this big revelation, you know, suddenly you're given this information, a bit like 100 Bullets. Like, what would you do if someone turned up with a case and a gun, right? And irrefutable evidence of someone who'd wronged you. What would you do? And this is what's wrestling in his mind as the kid from the night before comes back in. And he's real blasé, real arrogant. He's like, I'm going to go steal some shit. What are you going to do about it? But guess what? Neil's had enough. Neil kicks the living hell out of him. Absolutely pulverizes him. But there is some goodness in him, because he does call an ambulance near the end, right? But what he does before that is he takes himself some chips, he takes some beers, takes all the money from the till, because basically his job's over right now, right? And this is where it all begins. This is where the revenge story begins. And he's driving back to the place where it all started, the Albion Flats. I loved this book. I really enjoyed the art. It has got, I guess, the colouring and the art style just reminds me of 100 Bullets and stories like that. You really, really feel for this kid all the way through, right? You are waiting for him to snap. And time after time, you're thinking, like, what would I do? I would have snapped way before. Oh, way before. But it's really cool. It's a really good, strong first issue. You are instantly connected to this character. You're feeling his pain. All right, and you know something bad's coming. Like every good revenge story, I can't wait to see how it pans out. So there we go. An absolute blinder of a first issue. Ed Brisson and Andy Kuhn and everyone else involved, D. Cunniff, Rob Jones, just done a fantastic job of everything here. It's even got a Robert Hack variant cover too. So there we go. Wild Animals #1. I think it's always one of my books of the week, if not my book of the week from the indie books. So I recommend you go and pick it up if you haven't. And if you have, let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree in the comments, and we'll have a little chat about it. So until next time, read more comics and take care.